Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody who's joining us from all over the world. I am so excited and so glad that you got to be here. My name is Aline Mutumi. This is my YouTube channel or my Facebook uh, page, wherever you are joining us from. Without further ado, I am going to introduce our guests. So today we are three because we are going to have three languages at the same time because the main author, the interview that we have today, is his name is Mr. Alexandre, but he's more comfortable in speaking in Kinyarwanda. So we're going to have him share his story in Kinyarwanda. Then we will have Mr. Omis Das, who was here last week, translate it into French, and I will be translating it into English. So I'm excited for this event, and so it's such an honor to have these amazing people. Mr. Alexandre lives in Mr. Alexandre
Kigali.
Muba Ikigali. Yes,
Kigali.
Mr.
Kigali.
Alexandre lives in Kigali, and then Mr.
Yes.
Omis Das lives in Butare, where I was born. So I am so excited to meet everybody. So, Mr. Alexandre, nimwebwe noneho mushobora kwiintroduza, and then after that, Mr. Omis Das.
Murakoze cyane
Actually, no,
umwanya.
my bad. I'm so sorry. Since you are the author, Mr. Omis Das, can you introduce yourself so that we give him more time to talk about himself?
Okay. Yeah, my name is Mr. Ndaishimye. I'm a genocide survivor. I am author of two books, Heritage from Father, and another in French, Sortir indemne de l'enfer du génocide. I live in Rwanda with my wife and two children. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you so noneho Monsieur Alexandre mushobora kwi-introduce.
Murakoze cyane umwanditsi Aline. Nishimiye nanjye kubana namwe muri aka kanya, kandi ndashimira byimazeyo abantu bose banteze amatwi, cyane cyane mwebwe umwanditsi Aline wampaye aka kanya. Ndashimira rero abaduteze amatwi bose. Nkuko mwabivuze rero ngo mbabwire, nitwa Karamage Alexandre. Navukiye i Butare, ubu ndubatse, mfite abana 4. Nanditse rero mbi Kigali, nanditse igitabo cyitwa Ndashaka kubona data, aricyo ngiye kuba ubuhamya muri aka kanya. Murakoze.
Okay, so Monsieur Omis Das,
Vous
traduire ce qu'il a dit en
français.
He
said his name, son nom est Alexandre Karamage. Il habite à Kigali. Il a écrit un livre qui s'appelle Je vais voir mon père. C'est un homme marié qui a 4 enfants.
Des garçons.
Mais il est né à Butare. Merci.
Okay, so I'm gonna translate in English. So he said his name is Mr. Alexandre Karamage. He lives in Kigali, the capital of Rwanda. He's married with 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, and he's a genocide survivor, and he's in process of finishing his book, which he started writing in Kinyarwanda, which is
I want to see my father. I want to see my father. Yeah.
So the title
Je vais voir mon père.
Yes, so
je vais voir mon père.
Okay, the title of his book is I Want to See My Father. Yeah. Okay, so okay, for the sake of introducing him, I'm going to call him Uncle Alexandre, because if I have to say Mr. I'm going to just go crazy. So Tonto Alexandre, mushobora kutubwira quelque resume amateka mwaciyemo muri genocide yakorewe abatutsi, and also mushobora no gutangira muri mbere ya jenoside amateka papa wanyu yaciyemo muri jenoside ya 1959.
arakoze cyane umwanditsi Aline kumpa umwanya utagira uko usa nk'uyu ngo mbahe ubwo buhamya, reka mbateguze ko burababaje ariko mu buzima hagiye habonekamo n'ibishimishije birumvikana. Navutse rero mu mwaka w'igihumbi kimwe magana cyenda mirongo itandatu na kabiri mu ntango z'umwaka itariki enye z'ukwa mbere muri mirongo itandatu na kabiri. Ndumva hari nagera aho mugasobanura cyangwa nyevuga byinshi mu bihe.
Oya, rekeraho. Yeah. Il dit qu'il remercie beaucoup l'auteur Aline Moutoni et que son histoire est très poignante, mais il dit qu'il est né en 1962.
Le 4 janvier précisément.
Le mois
Le 4 janvier précisément.
D'accord, il est né le 4 janvier 1962.
So he started by thanking me for the opportunity to share his story, and then he said his name is Mr. Alexandre. He was born on January 4th, 1962, and his story is very, 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 very sad. But it has a happy ending. But he's apologizing in advance to let you know that his story is not very easy to hear. So but it's it's important to share your story. Whether it's good to hear or not, it's important. That is why we're here. So mushobora gukurikira.
Murakoze cyane. Navutse kuri iyo tariki mvuka data adahari, atari uko yagiye guhahira urugo, ahubwo ari uko yavuye mu rugo ameneshejwe ku butaka bw'abasekuruza n'abashaka kumugirira nabi kubera ko yari umututsi gusa, ariyo mpamvu ntoya.
Okay, so you can stop.
Yeah.
Mr. Armistead.
Je suis né dans une famille qui était dirigée par une femme parce que mon père était chassé de sa terre à cause des événements de 1959. C'est ça. Mon père était chassé, il n'était pas au Rwanda. On l'avait chassé parce qu'il était Tutsi, tout simplement parce que les événements de 1959 visaient seulement les Tutsis.
He was born, like he said, in 1962, but he was born, I would say, fatherless, not because his father did not want to be at home, but because his father was chased out of Rwanda during the first genocide that occurred in 1959. So his father was not out of the house voluntarily or absent from his birth, but he was absent because he was chased out of Rwanda in 1959, the first genocide that occurred in 1959 in Rwanda. Okay.
Murakoze nabyumvise. Icyo ngira ngo mbabwire ni uko byatangiye muri 59 ariko ntabwo byahagaze gusa muri 59, byarakomeje mu myaka yakurikiyeho 60, 61, kuko habayeho n'icyo bise gusukura, icyo bitaga gusukura, bagashaka abantu bo kwica. Papa rero yagiye muri 61.
Les problèmes, les événements anti-Tutsi ont commencé en 1959, mais mon père aura chassé en 1961. Parce que même si les problèmes anti-Tutsi ont commencé en 1959, mais ont continué en 1960, en 1961, même en 1963. Alors il dit que son père a été chassé en 1961.
Okay, so he says that even though the genocide started in 1959, but it went on further from 1959, 1960, and 1961. There was something that was done that they called cleanup, where they were actually cleaning up and removing other people that were not killed in 1959. So his father was chased out of Rwanda in 1961, not in 1959.
Yeah. murakoze. Yagiye njye mfite amezi 6 mu nda ya mama yari akuriwe afite amezi 6, hanyuma aragenda nyuma y'amezi 3 niho jyewe navutse nsanga adahari.
Quand mon père est parti, j'avais 6 mois. Sa mère était enceinte. Alexandre avait 6 mois. Donc, son père est parti avant sa naissance.
So his father was chased out of Rwanda when his mother was expecting him, and she was pregnant of him. She was 6 months pregnant of him. So 3 months later he was born, and without his father at home because he was chased out of Rwanda.
Murakoze, ni icyo cyatumye rero nita n'igitabo ndashaka kubona data. Nakuze ntazi data, ntarigeze muciryera.
Il dit que c'est pourquoi il a écrit son livre Je vais voir mon père, parce qu'il a grandi sans père. Il n'avait jamais vu son père parce qu'il est né quand son père était chassé du Rwanda. Il n'était plus au Rwanda.
So that is why he wrote the book, and he titled the book I Want to See My Father, because he was born without his father and he grew up without seeing his father.
Izina nitwa ubu ngubu ntabwo ari ryo nitwaga, ndababwira aho ryavuye. Kurundi nitwaga Karamage. Karamage bisobanuye ko ari umwana uvutse ariko mu bihe bibi.
Son nom, maintenant, il s'appelle Karamage, mais en Kinyarwanda, avant, il s'appelait Kajamage, qui veut dire que c'est un enfant qui est né dans des problèmes, hein, dans une période de grands problèmes. C'est ça, la signification de son nom, Kajamage.
Okay, so you translated it in English, so I'm going to translate it in French. Okay, so son nom en Kinyarwanda c'est
Kajamage.
Son nom en
Kajamage.
Kajamage.
Oui. Qui
Maintenant,
veut dire.
Okay, can you translate it in French too? Because since you did.
Oui, Kajamage, c'est-à-dire il vient.
C'est un enfant qui vient au moment de détresse. Au moment de détresse.
Dans la détresse.
Okay,
c'est un enfant qui est né au moment de détresse. Hein?
So this name that he has, Karamage, is not actually his real like birth name. They named him Kajamage, which means that he was born in pain. He was born in a very sad season. Yeah.
Yes.
Data yitwa Ruhaya, yitwaga Ruhaya Christophe. Ruhaya n'ubundi ni izina ry'isekurume y'ihene. Mama yanze kunyita nyamaswa, yashaka kunyita nyamaswa. Bivuze ngo mu Kinyarwanda
It's too long. Can you stop? We will translate. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your father's name, amasina ya data yitwaga like your father.
Ruhaya Christophe.
Book, si vous voulez, en français. Le book.
Okay,
so.
Yeah.
Tonton or Mr. It's you.
Oui, je vais traduire. Donc, son père s'appelait Ruhaya. Ruhaya, c'est un nom rwandais. Il y a beaucoup qui s'appellent Ruhaya, mais en référence au book comme le
chèvre mâle.
Voilà, le mâle du chèvre. Hein? Vous comprenez? Mais ça, c'est un nom normal. Ce n'est pas en rapport avec ces événements. C'est ce qu'il veut dire. Mais ce qu'il voulait que quand il est né, il était avec sa maman seulement. Son père était chassé du Rwanda. Mais une fois, sa mère voulait l'appeler Nyamaswa. Nyamaswa, c'est pour dire celui qui vient vraiment dans une situation très, très difficile. Hein? Dans des moments très, très, très difficiles. Et puis, qu'il continue, on voit.
No, okay, so his father's name, last name, like I said last week, in Rwanda, we actually don't carry our father's last name like we like other countries do. They give you a name according to the season that you were born into or how you came into this earth. So his father's name means goat, like the animal
Yeah.
goat. And
Yes.
when he was born, because his father was not in Rwanda and he was born in a very painful season, his mother wanted to name him um, Nyamaskwa, like an animal that was
An
like,
animal.
yes,
Yes.
thank God. Even if
Yeah.
she may not go out, we I'm sorry. The mother wanted to name him. The mother wanted to name him Animal, like Inyamaswa, because he was born in a very painful season. But yes,
Yeah.
instead of naming him just an animal, like animal, he named him Kamaji, which is like born in a perilous or in a very like painful season. It's still a painful
Ah,
name, but it's better than animal.
yeah. Nagize amahirwe kuko natangiye ishuri, ntangiye ishuri nabayeho ndi jyenyine nkajya nkora imirimo abana badakwiye gukora kuko nasigaraga ku rugo nkiri mutoya, abandi bagiye kwiga, bakuru banjye na bashiki banjye, kuko nari mfite bashiki banjye babiri na bakuru banjye babiri, mu rugo twari batanu, ariko bose barapfuye, nijye usigaye jyenyine, jenoside yarabatwaye, nijye usigaye jyenyine, babaga bagiye
Okay.
kwiga rero.
Yes. So, pause because it's too long. It will be hard for us to translate. Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. or
Donc,
Mrs.
oui, il dit qu'il est né dans une famille de 5 enfants, deux sœurs, des sœurs et et deux frères avec lui. Ils étaient 5, hein. Mais que, étant encore petit, il disait qu'il faisait vraiment des travaux qui destinés, disons, destinés aux plus grands. Mais quand il était encore petit, il restait à la maison. Il va nous expliquer ces travaux qu'il faisait qui étaient pour les adultes.
Brièvement,
Okay.
je vais le faire.
So because he didn't have a father, because his father was not there when he was born, so he's actually sharing about now like his life, like how he grew up. So he had 4 siblings. There were five in total, 3 boys and 2 girls, and but he was going to school, but also he was also doing some chores in the house, like other works in the house, to be able to help his mom. And he's going to go into in details of what was the work about. And also he's mentioning that his family was composed of 5 children and his mom and dad, but they were all killed. So his parents were killed. His 4 siblings were killed. He's the only survivor in his family.
Yeah.
nasigaraga rero ngomba kongera inyana ubwatsi, guha inyana ubwatsi, nagombaga kurinda amasaka y'amamera babaga banitse cyangwa imyumbati kugira ngo inkoko n'inyoni zitayangiza.
Oh my God, how do you translate that?
Muto cyane, encore très petit, hein, à l'âge de 3, 4, 5 ans.
Ok. Donc, il disait qu'il cherchait, les travaux qu'il faisait, il cherchait de l'herbe pour les vaches, et puis il gardait
les veaux,
aussi
pour les veaux.
Oui, pour les veaux, les petits les veaux, et puis qu'il gardait aussi des, comment on dit,
des sorgho.
Oui, des sorgho qu'on laissait pour sécher en dehors. C'est lui qui devait garder ces sorgho, mais tout en cherchant aussi des herbes pour les veaux, les petites vaches. Oui.
Okay, so somebody is actually making a good point, because honestly, it's going to be crazy to translate one by one. So he said, is it possible to have a share later on with subtitles and let the interviewee go on uninterrupted? Otherwise, we are not getting the interview fully. That is true, because it's taking forever, and I want him to be able to talk. So actually, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna have him we're gonna have him speak, and I'm gonna translate in English because I do have people, most people, because I live in America, and many people that are following me are from America. So I would have to translate it in English, and then we will subtitle. We would have a we would translate this video in French, in subtitle in French, so that we can go quicker. And Monsieur or Miss Das, aho natasa aho natamenya um aho nadashobora
guhindura
kumenya aho uko nshobora
guhindura
gukora gutraduisa, you
guhindura
will help me,
voilà.
you get it, because
Yeah.
there are some words that I've never heard in my entire life. Okay, so I'm gonna
Okay.
translate what he just said, and then we're gonna let him. We're gonna just give him like the full way, the full go on, like we did last week for all misters.
Okay,
Okay, so he
ndakureka.
said, so he was saying that oh my god, he was collecting grass for the they had cows, so he was collecting the grass for the cows, and he was also doing
ni ukurinda imyaka yabaga yanitse.
So he was just doing the normal chorus. So he was like folding the clothes, putting the clothes on, like, so he was doing like housework, and he was also doing farm work. He was doing both ways. So noneho mugende ariko nimwihute cyane kubera ndashaka gukora like way to make sure that I don't histoire yanyu, at least not a lot, but yeah, okay. So
murakoze nubwo nari ndi muri ubwo bwigunge nsigara ku rugo jyenyine kandi ndi muto.
Oh, you can carry on. Muvuge igihe bigera bibiri byinshi ndababwira.
Yego, nubwo nasigaraga ku rugo ndi muto cyane nkakora iyo mirimo, ariko hari n'ibindi byiza nabonagamo. Nari mfite inshuti ebyiri nakundaga, nubwo jye ntazi niba zarankundaga. Imwe yari imbwa nari nzi ko ari iyacu, ariko ari umuturanyi, naje kumenya nyuma. Ariko nkagira izuba ryari inshuti yanjye cyane, ku buryo iyo ryazaga naryibazagaho byinshi, rigatuma ntumva irungu nabaga mfite.
Vous avez bien compris, Aline?
I did. Okay, so he said that even though he was doing a lot of work, a lot of like housework, but he actually found a friend throughout the housework. It was a dog. It was a dog that became his friend. Like that dog just became a friend to him. So whenever he would go do the work, collect the grass for the cows, like he would do that dog. So the dog became his friend.
The name of this dog called Ringo. Yambaga hafi mu gihe abandi bose batabaga bahari, ariko najyaga imbere ntati rimwe na rimwe ikansiga. Iyo twabaga tumaze gusangira ifunguro rya mu gitondo, mama yabaga yansigiye, yarayembaga ikajya guhiga inkware no kuhunahuna mu bisimu aho bamena imyanda, nkasigara jyenyine. Ariko izuba ryo ikiza cyaryo ntabwo ryansigaga, kereka iyo imvura yabaga ikubye. Numvaga ari inshuti imwe isimbura indi, iyo imwe yabaga adahari indi yabaga ihari. Niyo mpamvu navuze ko ari inshuti zanjye nziza nagira.
So he's saying that he felt like the dog. It is funny. And so he said that they were sharing the meal. Let's say when the mom would give him like the breakfast in the morning, he was like sharing that with the dog. And then when the rain comes and he has like he's not able to go to attend the cows, the dog will go for him. So they became really good. It became like the dog was helping him to attend the work, and they were helping each other. So that's why he said that dog became his friend.
Izuba rero nagiranaga ibibazo naryo gusa iyo ryabaga ryatinze kongeraho kubera umusozi twari dutuye mu ibanga rimwe ry'umusozi rigaturuka hariya. Numvaga uwo musozi utuma ritangeraho nkababara. Ngiki kintu cyambabazaga mu buzima, ariko impamvu ntanababaraga cyane nuko nta bintu bizima nari nzi. Nari mbenyereye kubaho nabi ku buryo kubaho neza ntari mbizi, yenda ngo bimvune. ikindi kintu cyambangamiraga ni imvura yabaga ije, izuba ryarihishaga mu gicu, nkumva riragiye nkumva nsigaye jyenyine, nkaririmba indirimbo twaririmbaga mu banyarwanda iri magique, kazuba zuba iyizire gacucucucu igendere.
Okay. So he, oh gosh, so God, help me translation. So he's saying that even though so of course like my country is like a mountainous, like it has like mountains all around, so it has like it's a mountainous area. So even though it was taking long for for him to go to the mountain, it was a lot of work, you know, a lot of physical. I was demanding a lot of physical work, but because he was born in it, he actually didn't see it as like a lot because that's what he was used to do. Okay, so but he's remembering all these good memories with his friend, the dog, of how he was, you know, they were basically they were exchanging the oh gosh, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he has great memory. So he's actually mentioning, if you want the full story, get his book. You get that book about the part of his dog, because I'm a bad interpreter, guys. I'm really sorry for the English speaker,
Exactly.
because it's so good in Kinyarwanda, but to translate it, I'm very bad at it. So I'm sorry about it.
Ça se comprend.
Yeah.
Non, je te comprends. Ce n'est pas votre faute, hein. C'est la faute de... Moi, j'impute la faute à notre histoire. Hein. Izuba rero ndangiza ku byaryo nibazaga byinshi, nibazaga niba naryo rigira se cyangwa ryaravutse kuri mama wenyine, ese rigira amababa, ese ryo rigira aho ritaha, ese rigira abana, ese utunyenyeri n'utwana twaryo, ese ukwezi n'umugore waryo, ibibazo byinshi nibazaga nk'iby'abana.
So he's remembering that when he was doing all these outside work, like taking care of the cows and all that, he kept on looking at the sun, and he's like, oh, does the sun have a father or a mother? Does the moon, is the moon the father of the sun, or is the sun the father of the moon? So he was just like a child asking questions, you know, and that's what he's actually, those are the memories, like his childhood memories of him without a father. So he grew up without a father, but the father was chased in 1961 out of Rwanda.
Ibyo by'iryo rungu nabagamo, reka mbe mbisoreje aho ngaho, bizaboneka mu gitabo ukuntu imbwa yaje kundokora, yambwa ku buryo n'ubungira umwenda w'imbwa, ntabwo nabaho ntafite imbwa ko ndazikunda kuko ni indahemuka, yandokoye kabiri, muzabisanga mu gitabo.
So he's mentioning about a dog because the dog saved him. So the dog saved him during the genocide. That is why he's mentioning about.
Ntabwo ari muri genocide. It is not in the, sorry. It is not before genocide.
Before.
Okay, my bad. Apologies. So the dog actually, the reason why he mentioned the dog as his friend is because the dog saved him actually before the genocide. The dog did not save him during the genocide, but there was an incident that he's gonna share in his book that you will have in his book, where he share about how that dog saved his life and how that dog actually allowed him to be alive today.
Yeah. Naje rero kuva mu iryo rungu kuko hari umwana wo kwa data wacu wabaga iwabo, ariko nari ntaragerayo, kandi yari urungano rwanjye kuko yadushagaho amezi 5 y'ubukure. Naje rero kubumenya nte, iwacu igihe kimwe imvura yo mu mpeshyi yarabuze, hari imvura zagwaga mu mpeshyi ntizagwa. Sogokuru akaba yarafite umuntu yatuje waje ari indushya turutse i Burundi yitwaga Mariro. Sogokuru amuhatura, akabeshya rero cyangwa akavuga ko avuba imvura, ko afite ubushobozi bwo kuvuba imvura. Uko naje kumenya ko mfite umuvandimwe, namumenye kubera ko hari abantu baje gukubita umuvubyi wari utuye kwa sogokuru. Sogokuru yari yahaye hatura, yari yarabaye ivuye i Burundi bamwirukanye, ari umurundi witwa Mariro. sogokuru rero kuko ari umuntu wakira abantu, ukunda abantu, ugira imico myiza, aramwakira mu hatura, akabeshya abantu rero ko aragura kandi ko azi kuvuba imvura. Imvura ibuze baza kumusaba imvura. Ngira ngo narekeraho ukabanza.
Vous comprenez, il y a c'est comme un magicien hein, qui était là pour provoquer, pour faire.
Excusez-moi, les appelait les faiseurs de pluie, les faiseurs de pluie.
Oh, there was somebody who came to his grandfather's house who called himself like the maker of rain. So he was like a magician, and he called himself that he was able to make rain. And then he came to his grandfather's house, I think. Yeah.
Sogokuru yamuhaye gutura sogokuru.
The time where that person came in the grandfather's house, and then he said that he can make rain, and it was like intriguing to him because he did not know that somebody can actually make rain. So he was looking forward to see it, I think.
Imvura yaraburaga bakabakubita
Oro frappé.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So that guy.
Haje abantu benshi baje kumubwira ngo abaha imvura uko yari yariyitiriye ko abasha kuyitegeka ikagwa cyangwa ntigwe. Itaguye baza kumubaza impamvu itaguye.
Okay, so this poor guy, so whenever the rain would not fall, whenever there was not enough rain, they will go and beat him up, and they will ask him why didn't he send the rain to come down. So it's so interesting. Like this is like this is a very interesting story. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Aho nari ndi mu rugo rero aho ngaho numvise urusaku rw'abantu benshi.
So while he was in the house, he was hearing many stories and many events. You know, while he was doing the homework. Yeah.
Nsanga ni itsinda ry'abantu baje ari benshi bafite inkoni n'umujinya n'uburakari. Ndabakurikira ndebye muri bo nsanga harimo akana gato kabiruka inyuma. Nshira ubwoba ndavuga ntireka nanjye njyane n'akariya kana. Ngenda mw'iryo tsinda.
So he's actually remembering his childhood memories. So he says, so when he heard people like, you know, screaming and like making noise outside, so he started seeing people actually running towards somebody who was the maker of rain. Remember the guy who said he can make rain, and there was no rain, so they were actually about to beat him up. So he saw this little boy who was also running towards, like, who was following this people. So he decided to just follow the boy and run towards that man. Yeah.
Ntabwo hari kuratuye tuhageze bafata umuntu basanga yicaye aho ngaho, abagabo bane baramufata umwe ukuboko kumwe ukundi undi ukuguru kumwe ukundi, bamucurika areba hasi aryamye ariko bamuteruye ameze gutya, abandi batangira kumukubita, babiri mu ruhande rumwe n'abandi mu ruhande rumwe, bamubwira ngo kuki utaduha imvura twaragutuje none wowe twimye imvura.
So when they got to the house of the maker of rain, the two people, one held his right arm, the other one the left arm, the other one his legs, two on his legs, two on his arm, and they lifted him, and then they put him upside down, and they were actually beating him up, and they were like, why don't you give us the rain? Why don't you give us the rain?
Wabonaga bamukubita basa nabishimye, ariko twebwe tugira ubwoba. Je nako gahungu twari turi kumwe gatoya tuvuze induru tuti umuntu w'abandi baramwishe.
So the people that were beating him up, like, he could feel like they were happy, they were like, you know, it was funny to them, but because they were young, him and the little boy that he followed, they were afraid, so they actually ran away. They were like, oh my goodness, they're gonna kill this person.
Bareka gukubita rero bo bakubitaga, barangije baratwirukana ngo ubundi tutwaje gukora icyo tutwana ngo nimugende. Turiruka rero, twirutse mpungana nawe, nungubu uko namenye uwo ngo mugenzi wanjye amariro ngo mu minsi yakurikiyeho uko twajyaga tuganira tugakina imikino y'abana, kubumba inka, kurushanwa kubumba inka nyinshi, kurushanwa kubaka amazu mu biti, mu byondo, mu mabuye, buki, ya mikino yose y'abana, kurasa n'imiheto, gutera uruziga, kurushanwa kunyara kure n'ibindi byinshi.
Okay, so before he met that little boy, his friend was the dog. He only had a relationship with the dog. So then, after him and the little boy, they ran away from the house of the maker of rain. They became friends and they started actually playing together. They started having activities together. So at that point, now he had a human being other than the dog as a friend, and they were doing activities together.
Abivuze neza arakoze Aline, kuko nyuma yaho izuba nararirebaga rikantokoza ntiryatumaga ndireba neza, ariko inshuti nari mbonye nshya navuganaga nayo ntagira ku izuba ryo naribwiraga ndeba hasi, ntabwo ariko inshuti nshya narayirebaga tukavugana, yandutiye rero izuba indutira n'imbwa.
So before he met the little boy, his friends were the dogs, the sun, and the moon, and the stars, because he didn't have any human being to talk to. So he said that after meeting that little boy, like his eyes felt better, because by looking at the sun and talking to the sun all day, it was actually like hurting his eyes. So it allowed him to be able to talk to a human being. So he was happy to have a friend that he can talk to and not have to talk to the sun.
Sinzi niba ubashe gusobanura ukuntu akaryoshye kadahora mwitama. Akaryoshye ntigahora mwitama. Yego urumeze dufashe.
Pour dire que
c'est bitarama.
Pour se dire qu'une chose intéressante ne dure pas.
Okay, so good things don't last.
Très bien. Kuko andushaga amezi 5 hafi 6, igihe cyo gutangira we cyarageze, atangira ishuri aransiga.
Okay, so because he was a little bit ahead of him, he was a little bit older than him. School started a few months later. School started, so he went to school, and they were no longer spending time together.
Ndagira ngo mbabwire ko ikintu narakariye cyambere mu buzima numvise aricyo kintu kibi kurusha ibindi ari ishuri, kuko ryantandukanye n'inshuti yanjye nari maze iminsi yarankuye mu irungu.
So the first thing that actually made him so sad about everything, it was school, because the school separated him from his first friend.
Nasigaye mu rugo rero nanirwa kurya, nanirwa kunywa, nabyita ko ari depression nagize, ndarwara bakamvuza bagakora.
So he fell into a deep depression when his friend went to school, because he didn't have any more friends. So he fell into a depression. He was not eating, he was not sleeping. So they were medicating that depression as a child.
Banjyana kwa muganga birabananira, examen zose bafashe bagasanga nta kibazo kigaragara, ariko ngatakaza ibiro cyane kandi nkahora ndizwa n'ubusa niyenza.
So they took him to the hospital to do some tests to see what was happening, because he was losing weight, but they didn't find anything. So even though he was, he had all these, like there was nothing going on, but he was depressed. He was sad because his friend was no longer with him.
Biratangaje rero kandi birababaje ko umuvuzi umudokiteri umuhanga niwe wamvuye, ariko aza gukora ubugome ku buryo nahise niga isomo ko umuntu abasha gukora ibyiza n'ibibi bingana.
So it amazes him, because the doctor who took care of him actually turned to be a very bad person. So he learned that you can do good in a season and also do bad in another season.
Uwo ni Dr. Theodore Sindi Kubwabo, wabaye perezida w'ingoma yatwishe ikaturangiza y'abatabazi.
So the doctor that he's mentioning is Dr. Theodore what?
Sindi Kubwabo.
Okay. So his name is Dr. Theodore Sindi Kubwabo, who became who was
the
one
president.
of the people. He became the president, and the president
during the genocide. During the genocide was the president.
Okay. So he was the highest leader during the genocide, and he killed a lot of people during the genocide.
Ndabivuga gutyo kuko niwe wafunguye cyangwa se watumye genocide ishoboka iwacu, hapfa abantu benshi, abavandimwe n'inshuti n'abaturanyi bari kurokoka. Iyo atajyayo iwacu ku Gisagara ngo avuge ngo nimukore, bivuze ngo nimutangire kwica.
Okay, so he's mentioning this person because that's the person who actually
yara
openly allowed people to kill people in his province, the province where he lost his family, Gisagara, right? The
yeah,
province
yeah,
where many people were killed because that person was the one who actually gave the green light for them to start killing people.
yeah, yeah. Uwo rero niwe wavumbuye ikibazo nari mfite, arababwira ati murebe niba hari ikintu yakundaga kurya atakibona, niba hari umuntu yakundaga kubona atakibona, noneho ni mu musubizo ubwo burenganzira, nadakira ngo yongere arye neza anywe neza muzambwire. Bahita bamubwira bati kereka mwene se wabo babanaga niwe wagiye ku ishuri, ati muzamujyane ku ishuri amusange bajye bajyana, nihashira ibyumweru bibiri atariye neza ngo anywe neza muzamungarurire. Niwe wavumbuye ikibazo nari mfite.
So that doctor, Dr. Theodore, the doctor who actually the family took him to, he told the family, he's like, okay, you know what, he doesn't have any problem, but just observe him. The only thing that changed in his routine was the fact that he had a friend that they were close to, but that friend is no longer coming because they're no longer seeing each other because the friend is now in school. So he said, okay, just go take him to just take him home, feed him, and see if you can, like, allow the two kids to be able to meet to see if that's the reason why he's not eating and he's losing weight.
Nagiye basabye rero umwarimu ko nakurikira umuvandimwe wo kwa data wacu, ngiyeyo kubera niriranwaga n'abana, harimo inkuru zishimishije cyane, nahise ngira bya bindi nari ndwaye, ndya neza ngwa neza.
So because the doctor asked the parents to take him to the school where his friend was going to, because now he was no longer surrounded by just his friend. He had other little boys that they could play together. So he was healed, he was eating, he was happy. So he was completely healed from depression.
Natahaga mbwira mama inkuru nabonye ku ishuri, hari ndibuka inkuru imwe twiga gukuramo ikimenyetso cyo gukuramo, bahamagaye mwene data wacu yitwaga Rumenerangabo, baramubwira, umwarimu aramubwira ngo nguhaye amandazi ni benye, iwacu twabyitaga ibiraha, ngo nguhaye ibiraha bitatu, umuvandimwe wawe agakuramo kimwe, Karamage, ngo haba hasigaye iki? Arangije arasubiza ngo haba hasigaye imirwano, ngo yaba se agitwara iki nakimuhaye.
Okay, so they were having, so he's mentioning like the little funny games that they were having, and then he's talking about a story where they asked his friend, the friend that he followed to school, they asked him, like, okay, if you have 4 donuts, I'm gonna call them donuts. They did not donuts. They actually, like, it's a kind of bakery that is from Rwanda, but I don't know how to say it in English, so I'm gonna call it donuts. So you have 4 donuts, and then one person takes it, and then Karamage, your friend Karamage takes it. How many do you have left? And then the friend was like, that would be a problem, because why is he taking more, me giving it to him? So he's remembering all these like funny memories of his childhood.
Aho gusubiza ngo hasigara bibiri, yasubije ko hasigara imirwano kuko namutwariye ikirahama byaki. Sorry.
Yeah, so he remembered that he said he remembered that he said, oh, it will be the left, it will be left a fight because he took it consent, like before me giving it to him.
Yeah. Nawe utekerezaga rero mama inkuru zo ku ishuri bikanyibagiza agahinda kenshi nabaga ndimo, baza kutubaza kugira ngo buzuze amafishe, amazina ya ba data ay'ababyeyi, so yitwa nde, mama we yitwa nde, yewe mvuga ibya mama gusa, mwarimu ambajije ngo so yitwa nde, namugana ntawe ngira, navutse kuri mama gusa, araseka ati ibyo ntibishoboka, ufite so uzagenda umubaze.
So while he was in school now, because now he started school with his friends, I gave him like a form to fill out, name of your parents,
arambwira ati
sorry. Okay. Sorry. I had to mute Mr. or Mrs. because there's like an outside sound that was just making a little bit noise. So he said, they gave him a form, and the form was to fill out the name of your mother, the name of your father. So he filled out the name of his mother, and then he gave it to the teacher, and the teacher was like, "Oh, what's the name of your father?" He's like, "No, I don't have a father. I was only born from my mother." And then the teacher was like, "It doesn't exist. Take the form to your mother and ask her what's the name of your father."
namufashe nabi numvise ari umuntu ushinyagurira njye impaka ndamubwira nti ntawe ngira rwose wikwira kuvuga ngo ndamufite w'inshinyagurira nase ko ntaramubona mufite gute njye impaka na mwarimu.
So he had now issues with the teacher, and he felt like that teacher was against him because he was like, I don't have a father. Like, why are you telling me that I have a father? Like, I've never seen my father. Like, I've never seen a father in the house. So I only have my mother. So he now he became like a little bit defensive.
Hari amasaha yagereje gutaha ntahambabaye cyane ndakariye mwarimu mubwira ngo yanshinyaguriye yavuze ko mfite data kandi ntamufite. Hari amakuru rero mwene data wacu yari afite ge ntazi uwo nari nakurikiye ku ishuri mu nzira ncika intege ndicara ndimo ndira nihanagura araza mfata ku rutugu ati ntabwo mwarimu yakubeshyeye ufite papa wawe yagiye i Burundi. Yari afite amakuru genda afite ambwiye ngo papa yagiye i Burundi ariho.
Okay, so his friend, his first friend, so I'll call him his best friend. So on their way back home, he confided to his best friend, and he's like, "How can the teacher like treat me like that and tell me that I have a father and I don't have a father?" And she doesn't believe that I don't have a father, and he was crying. And then they decided to sit down, and then his best friend, so the friend that he followed to school, he had information that Mr. Alexandre did not have. So he knew that actually Mr. Alexandre he had a father, and the father was in Burundi, but Mr. Alexandre was not aware of it. But his best friend knew about it. So that was the first time he was told that he had a father, and the father was in Burundi, and he was not in Rwanda with them.
Ibyo iyo mbitekereje numva bavuga ko genocide itateguwe babeshya kubera ko guhera icyo gihe muri 59 ni genocide yakorwaga kandi ingaruka zatugezeho twebwe ababivuga nuko tubizi nuko byatubayeho. Urwo n'urugero rufatika rwerekana ko dufite amakuru y'ukuri abari ababeshya.
So he wants to actually emphasize on the fact that for those people that think that the genocide was now perpetrated and the genocide did not start before, his story, the genocide didn't even start. For him, it did not start in 1994. The genocide started in 1959 when his father was chased out of the country in 1961, and he grew up without a father. So the consequences of the first genocide, actually, he is the product of the consequences of the genocide of 1959, because that caused the fact that in 1961 they had an operation called the cleanup. So they chased away his father in Burundi, and he grew up without a father. So he's sharing that those people that are trying to deny the fact that the genocide was perpetrated, they don't have people like him that actually are real fact and are real victim of not only the genocide of 1994 but the genocide of 1959, because he grew up without a father, not because the father refused to be with him, but because the father was chased out of his country, away from his 5 children and his wife.
Hari data rero waruvukiye muri gihe ntarinzi icyo gihe data yaravukiye muri gihe numva ngiye mu rudubi no kuvuga ngo nari mbaye confused bivuze muri
So after his friend told him that information, he felt like now he was filled with now curiosity and like wanting to know about his dad, because he grew up from the time he was born, he was never told that he had a dad. So now from the time now his friend tells him that his dad is in Burundi and the dad is he really has a father, now he wanted to know where was his father.
Icyiyumviro cyazaga muri kuruta ibindi nicyo kumva ngo ndashaka kubona data. Numvaga ndashaka kubona data byirotantisa bigaruka mu bwenge bwanjye, byari mu ibindi bintu byose byari mu mutwe wanjye, hazamo icyo kintu, ibindi ndabyibagirwa. Uwo muvandimwe wanjye arampagurutse ati twihute, we yaravuga ngo urashonje se, humura tugiye kugera mu rugo. Numvaga mfite ikibazo kidahuye n'iki gihe, numvaga mfite ikibazo cya data uvukiye muri gihe wakagira ngo ni inzara ndashonje, mpita mpaguruka niruka.
So he now from that point he had this echo in his mind, where is my father, like where is my dad, where is my father, and from that point, at that moment, he went into a similar kind of I won't say depression, but like he was confused. He was confused because he had so many questions. Where is my father? And he was not eating. He was not like he was not functioning as a normal child, like the way he used to, because of the information that he had received from.
Narihuse ngeze mu rugo, ntabwo nasuhuje mama nkuko byari bisanzwe. Narahamagaye nti mama uri hehe? Aza yihuta asohotse mu nzu, tubaye iki, kuko yari yikanze agira ngo hari icyo mbaye. Ndamubwira nti ndashaka kubona data.
So he rushed home and he was screaming at his mom. He's like, "Mom, where are you? Where are you?" Then she came out and she's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, he's like, "I want to see my dad." Just like the title of his book, "I want to see my dad."
Ngo mama agira ngo yavuze, yarambwiye nyuma ngo yari yagize ngo nahanzweho, ngo yaragize ngo nasaze.
So the mother thought he was crazy because they never mentioned about his dad.
Aranterura shyira hafi ku gituza, arambwira ati igihungu cyiza, ati humura ubaye iki, ati ninde wakubwiye ibyo? Ndamubwira nti mwarimu yambeshyeye ngo mfite data, none ndashaka kumurumenana nawe. Arambwira ngo data yagiye i Burundi, wa muvandimwe wanjye, none ndashaka kubona data kandi nona.
So then the mother like tried to comfort him, so like brought him closer to her and was like, "Okay, my boy, what's going on?" And then he's like, my teacher told me that I have a father, and then my friend told me that my father is in Burundi, so I need to see him now.
Arambwira ati ntacyo banzumwe urye, noneho utagenda ushonje ukagera ushonje. Ibyo yampaga byose nabiryaga vuba nkabinywa vuba kugira ngo tugende.
So the mom told him, he's like, "Okay, it's fine. Just drink and eat. And after that, we're going to go to see your dad." So anything that she was bringing, he was drinking and eating very quickly because he was waiting to go to see his dad.
Turangire namwana nabirangije, yampaye amata mu nkongoro, maze kuyanywa ndamwerekamo nti dore nayamaze tugende. Arangije arambwira ati rero ati burije ntabwo twagerayo, reka tuzagende tuzindutse. Bukeye ndamubwira nti tugende. Arambwira ati oya, reka ubanze nkumesera imyenda niyuma tuzagenda. Umunsi ukurikiye ati dore ni urakora uriga uzagira amanota meza azaguhembe, agashaka ibintu ambwira buri munsi ku buryo umunsi wigirayo.
So it started with eat, when you finish your dinner we'll go. So he ate very quickly. Then after that, the mom was like, "You know what? It's very far. We can't get there. It's very late. So tomorrow morning we'll wake up and go." So the morning he wakes up early. The mom is like, "You know what? If you finish doing the housework, then we will go." Then he did the whole housework. Then the mom is like, "You know what? If you work hard at school and you get good grades, we will go." So the promise went on and on and on and on and on for a long time.
Yeah, noneho batashye rero abavandimwe banjye, mama arababwira ati dore siroga yazanye uyu munsi, intero n'inyikirizo yazanye, ndashaka kubona data. Noneho bambaza icyambiteye ndabibabwira, mama rero ni chapitre nise ihishurwa ry'ukuri, guhishurirwa ukuri. Mama atangira kudusobanurira uko byagenze, nguko uko namenye ko data yahunze. Yatubwiye muri makeya ko hari umuntu waje yihuta, umuntu yari yarahaye inka, yagiye mu nama, inama yagenaga abantu bari buze kwica, kuko baravuga ngo twakoze ikosa abantu baraducika, noneho abo dushaka ntibaducika turabica. Umuntu wari muri iyo nama aza kuburira data, yohereza umuntu azayiruka ngo aramubwira ati amaraso yawe ntazambarweho, genda amaraso ndakarabye. Data nuko yagiye, ngo yanyuze mu cyanzu ntiyanyuze mu irembo, aca munsi y'urugo ntiyakarabye, ntiyagize gute, ahita agenda arara kwa mushiki we hafi y'umupaka, bucya yambuka ajya i Burundi ngo kuko yahunze.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so oh Lord, I pray that I translate exactly what I heard. So after that, after he shared to his mom that he wanted to see his dad, when the other 4 siblings came, the mother told the siblings, okay, your brother raised a concern and a question, and I think I need to tell you the truth about what happened to your dad. So in his book, there is a chapter where he shares about the whole story of what happened to his dad. So most importantly, what he said, actually, there was a meeting. So after the genocide in 1959, there were people that the genocide perpetrator or the killer, they could not kill. So they decided to have a meeting and say, you know what, we need to make sure that we kill those people. So one of the people that attended the meeting was a friend of his dad, and who actually helped him buy cows or something like that. They had a relationship. So that man ran to his house and came to see his father. And he said, you know what, I don't want your blood to be on me. So I want to let you know that they are planning on killing you. They are planning on coming to kill you. So run away. So his father did not shower. He didn't get ready. He just literally ran out. He did not go through the main road. He went under like, you know, in the forest, whatever. And he went and he slept that night. That very night that it happened at his sister, and after that he went to Burundi.
Niko byagenze rero mu gicuku cy'iryo joro agenda, mama agiye kumva yumva abantu baravuga, ariko ngo batavuga bukeya, yumva n'abantu benshi. Imyugariro barayisesa, binjiye rero baramukinguza, arakingura, asohotse batangira kumukubita bavuga ngo umugabo warihe. Kandi yari akuriwe. Bamwe mu bari baraho baravuga ngo mwimukubita aratwite atabatera umwaku. Noneho baravuga ngo yango none switch imbeba ngo ababariri haka. Arangije rero abavugaga ngo bamureke baba amajwi aba menshi, abavuga ngo bamwice baba bakeya, baramureka.
So as we mentioned in the beginning, when the father ran away, was chased away from Rwanda. It was in 1961, but his mother was 6 months pregnant with him. So he was in his mother's womb when his father ran away. So the same night, that night when his father's friend told him that they were coming to kill him, and he ran away to his sister, and then he went to Burundi. They came that very night. The killers came to the house, and they knocked at the house, and they were like, okay, come out. So she went outside to open, and then they beat her. They beat her up, and then they wanted to kill her, and then one of the killer were like, you know what, let's not kill her because she's pregnant and it's going to give us bad luck. So then one of them was like, does it matter I don't know how to say it in mushobora gusubira ibyo bavuze ngo ingenzi ni imbeba cyangwa
uwica imbeba ntababari haka, ni umugani w'abanyarwanda. Uwica imbeba ni haka ntabwo yibabarira na yarayica.
So there is a proverb in Rwanda that says whoever kills a mouse doesn't kill something else. Can you translate?
Non, pour dire que quand il commence à tuer ses souris, il doit tuer tout.
Okay, so the proverb says when you kill one mouse, you have to kill all of them. So meaning, since they came to kill with the husband and the husband was not there, might as well just kill everybody.
nuko noneho baravuga ngo nasohoke, ngo papa data nasohoke, no arazasohoka baratwika inzu.
I want to emphasize this was in 1961. It was not in 1994 because I want to mention for those who are just joining us, this situation is not in 1994. It's 1961.
No. Baramubwira ngo niba data ari mu nzu nasohoke, nadasohoka barayitwika. Mama aragenda, bagiye kwitwika bajya imbere ati harimo abana banjye 4 baryamyemo, mwitwika ntabwo arimo we, ni mumbabare n'abana banjye 4 baryamyemo. Nuko nibayitwika ariko
so the killers were like, okay, so since the husband is not here, let's just burn it out, let's just burn the whole house. If he doesn't come out, we're gonna burn the whole house. And the mother, the pregnant, 6-month pregnant, beaten mother, because they beat her before they thought of burning the house. They started by beating her up. So she stood up and she stood in front of the house. She said, please don't burn my house. I have 4 children in the house sleeping. Please, my husband is not in the house.
barangije rero icyo bakoze n'iki nuko baretse kujyamo, ariko hajyamo bake, bareba ku buriri bwa data basanga ko ntariho, mu nzu ntibagira, barasa ikibiriti barareba basanga ntabwo arimo, barasohoka. Ariko basohokanye inkoko zararaga aho ngaho, kuko twaranaga n'inkoko mu nzu, ibisake byiza barabitwara, inkoko barazitwara. Bageze no hanze hari inka zari ziri mu rugo, bafata ikiziriko cyari gihari, bafata ikimasa cyari gihari baragitwara, nuko baragenda bamubuze.
Okay, so when they got in the house, they after she begged them not to burn the house, they got inside the house to check if she was lying or she was saying the truth. So now it's so, oh my goodness, Jesus. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry guys, because I'm translating and I'm just shaking at the same time. So they get inside the house to look for the husband. They go into the bedroom, the master bedroom, to look at the bed. They realize that he's not there, and they decide, because they had chickens that were in the house, so they decided to take the chicken, and they decided also they had cows because they were farmers. So they took the cows, they took the chicken, and they just took things from the house and they left. They didn't touch the children, and they didn't kill anybody, but they beat the 6-month pregnant woman.
Mama kibitubwira, hari inka yarafushye yari mu rugo aho ngaho, noneho ndirukanka njya kwihisha, ndavuga ntibaragarutse. Mama arambwira ngo hoya ntabwo bari bugaruke, ngo ahubwo kuko ndamubwira nti ngo kuko papa we bazi ko adahari, ngo bemeye ko yagiye. Ndababwira nti ko inka ziracyahari n'inkoko, ntibagaruka se kuzitwara. Byari byarankuye umutima muri make.
So when he heard the story about what happened at that time, about the fact that they took the cows and the chicken, he was thinking, he's like, oh, maybe they'll come back because we still have chickens and cows in the house, so they might actually come back and take us. That was, so this event of the cows and the chicken was in 1961. I want to emphasize, this was not 1994. We're not yet in 1994, we're in 1961.
Yeah.
I'm repeating that because I've heard so many people saying that nothing happened in 1959. So I'm just repeating it so that those deniers can actually wake up and be honest and truthful with themselves.
Uko niko kuri, kuko ubivuga n'uwo byabayeho, ntabwo ari wabibwiwe, n'uwo byabayeho. Donc c'est une histoire vécue. C'est une histoire vécue.
He's saying he's not sharing a story of somebody else. He lived that. That's his story. So whoever is denying
the true story,
it's not their story, but that is his story. Oh my goodness. Okay,
Mama rero yenda sinjya muri detail, ziragaragara mu gitabo uzakibona zazisangamo. Mama yagize ikibazo gikomeye nyuma yaho, kuko mu abana ba sogokuru yari yarabyaye abana 6. Bo barahunga muri 59 hahungamo 4 bose. Hanyuma hasigara 2 gusa. Hasigara 2, data na data wacu.
Okay, so his grandfather had 4 children.
Yeah. 6
children. my bad. His grandfather had 6 children. 4 children ran away in 1959. They ran away during the genocide of 1959, 1959, and only 2 stayed behind in after 1959.
abo babiri basigaye nabo barimo data nawe aragenda muri 61.
So now he's mentioning about his grandfather from his father's side. So his father had 5 siblings. So there were 6. So 4 left in 1959, and then two were left in Rwanda. So his father and his other sibling. And then in 1961, his father left also Rwanda. So there were 5 in exile.
Hasigaye umwe wenyine mu Rwanda.
When in Rwanda.
Rero wasigaye nawe ntabwo yatubaniye neza, ntiyatubereye imfura. Yashatse kwigarurira mama ngo amugire umugore we.
I'm sorry. So the uncle, so there was only one who stayed in Rwanda after the genocide of 1959. There was only one who stayed after 1961 when his father left and ran away to Burundi. So that uncle decided to appropriate their mother. So he was not actually a good person to them. So he decided to actually take the mother as his wife. So meaning he decided to steal his brother's wife.
Yeah, his little brother.
His little brother's wife. So he's like, okay, since he's not here, I'm gonna take care of her.
Yeah. Mama yabaye indahemuka kuri data, aramwangira, aramubwira ati nubwo mwasabiye munzanye mu muryango, kuko hari sirogari hari ngo umugore ni w'umuryango. Noneho data wacu agashaka kuvuga ngo ubwo umugore ari umuryango, ubwo muri umuntu adahari yabuwe. Mama nawe abindahemuka kuri data, aramwangira.
Thank God for your mom. So the mom just stood her ground, because apparently that culture at that time, the wife belongs to the family. She's the wife, the household. She doesn't belong to one. Thank God. I hope this culture is no longer there, because that's an interesting culture. But anyway, so the culture at that time, the wife belongs to the family. So since the husband is not there, then the brother can take care of her. But the mother stood her ground and she's like, no, I can't do it. Even though I'm married in the family, but I have 4 plus the 6 months pregnant child that was about to him. So there were about to be 5 children of her husband. So she refused.
Byatumye rero mama aruha biruseho, kubera ko umuvandimwe wa data yaraje aramubwira ati mu buryo buri mama yari ati izi nka bazazikwiba kuko uri umugore. Yewe rero ndetse nkajya nza kurara hano najya nzirarira, ariko nubyanga nzazitwara iwanjye batazazikunyaga njye nzirarira n'izanjye. Mama aramubwira ati reka tugende njye kubwira umushumba zicyuri wawe kuko sinshaka kurara, ndi umugore wa murumuna si ndi umugore wawe. Nuko inka zavuye mu rugo.
So his approach was, he went the one who wanted to get her as the wife. He went to her and he's like, you know what? These cows need a shepherd. They need somebody to take care of at night. If you live alone by yourself, they are going to come and steal from you. So for those cows to not be stolen from you, I need to be sleeping with you and spending the night with you so that I can protect you from the thieves. So the mother, who actually I respect her and I would do the same. The mother told the person, the person who was in charge of the cows, to go and take the cows to that man's house at night, because it's like, you know what, since you want to protect what belongs to your brother at night, it's okay. Those cows can come to your house at night, but you're not gonna sleep with me.
Yarazitwaye rero, ntabwo twongeye kubona amata, ntitwongeye kubona amase yo gufumbira imirima, ubukene buratuzonga. Nuko twagize bamarume bakadufasha bakajya baduha amata igihe n'igihe, ubundi badushakira amajyana tukayatumwa icyayi. yewe numvaga ari nacyo kiryoshye kuko bashyiragamo isukari, nifuza ko izo nka zitagaruka nkajya ninywera icyo cyayi kirimo isukari.
So after the mom refused for that uncle to become her husband, he took the cows to his house. So they didn't have now any more milk in the morning. They didn't have like any like things that they used to do. So they actually fell into poverty, because in that time the cows was also some like a sign of like I would say like resource for food and stuff like that. So they fell into poverty at that time. But then family members were bringing teas. They were bringing tea and sugar. So he's saying that actually he enjoyed more the tea and the milk, because the tea had sugar. It was sweet. So he was actually wishing for those cows to never come back.
yatwaraga n'imirima yera kugira ngo mama akunde ababare cyane amwifuze, yakoreshaga imbaraga kugira ngo nitubabara amwifuze.
So that the brother who wanted the mother, so he made her life so much pain so that she would actually give in and say, you know what, I actually need a husband, so please come and take me. So he made her life really very hard.
Hari chapitre rero nise kurabukwa data muri 1973 habaye kudeta, perezida witwa Habyarimana afata ubutegetsi akuyeho Kayibanda.
Sorry, Mr. or Mrs. I did not understand that.
Donc, il a dit kurabukwa data, c'est-à-dire
apercevoir mon père.
Voilà.
Apercevoir mon père.
Okay.
Donc j'ai aperçu mon père. À un moment donné, j'ai aperçu mon père.
Voilà.
Okay. So there is a chapter in his book that is called Perceiving My Father, like perceiving my father.
Voilà.
So even though the father was not physically there, so he's mentioning the story of that's the title, Perceiving My Father. And then he's now talking about, and then he said in 19 what? Habyarimana yafashe ubutegetsi byari
1973.
73.
Okay, so in 1973, there was a coup, a political coup that removed the president
Kayibanda, Gregoire.
Kayibanda, President Kayibanda to power by President Habyarimana.
Voilà.
Arangije rero yaravuze ngo haje amahoro n'ubumwe. Noneho data we yarari Burundi, aravuga ati noneho kuki ntataha? Pourquoi ne pas regagner ma famille?
Okay, so
il est revenu au Rwanda.
After the political coup, people felt like, okay, there was now peace that was coming back in the country. So the father, Mr. Alexandre's father, who was in Burundi, he's like, you know what, why not come back home and be with my family?
Aje rero yatungukiye kwa mushiki we wari utuye hafi y'aho bambukira Akanyaru.
So when he got into Rwanda, he stayed at his sister, which was across the river, Akanyaru River.
Tout près de la frontière. Tout près de la frontière.
So the sister was living close to the border, the border between Burundi and Rwanda.
Oui, tout près de la rivière Akanyaru, si vous voulez.
Voilà. Close to the river, the Kanyaru River.
Yeah. Hanyuma akigerayo inkuru zaramenyekanye, umukonseye w'umugore wayoboraga icyo gihe, umugore witwa Ndakiriye, aza kureba data kwa muramu we cyangwa kwa mushiki we bishaka. Ahita amubwira ngo ntava aho ngaho, ahita amufungira.
So when people found out that now his father was like the rumor came in and they found that
elle était responsable du secteur.
Voilà.
Elle était responsable du secteur là tout près de la frontière. Elle est venue, elle est allée trouver son père parce que elle était venue du Burundi. Alors comme il était autorité, responsable de son secteur, elle est venue voir son père qui était chez sa sœur. Vous comprenez? Donc, son père,
was
donc, son père, attends un moment, quand son père est retourné au Rwanda,
Okay.
Permettez, je vais. Après avoir franchi la rivière à Kanyaru,
Okay.
elle s'est rendue chez sa sœur.
Okay.
Et puis, le conseiller du secteur est venu chez le sœur de mon père.
Okay, so pause.
Voilà.
I need to translate it, otherwise I will forget. So the father of Mr. Alexandre went to he planned to go back to Rwanda, and his sister is at the border between Burundi and Rwanda. So he went to his sister to stay there. While he was staying at his sister, the head of the sector or the county, I think in America we say county. The head of the county came to the house of the sister and found the father in there, and he told him, "Don't leave, stay there."
Masenge yohereza abana babyara banjye ngo baze babwire mama natwe ko papa yaje ariko ko atabasha kuza ko ari aho ngaho.
Okay, so then he said that person sent that person to go and tell the mother, like Mr. Alexandre's mother and his siblings, that the father is in Rwanda, but he cannot. He's at his sister's house, but he cannot come to them.
Baraye aho ngaho bukeye ngenzindukana na mama tugiye kureba, tugezeyo ngera mu marembo nsangayo Masenge yari umuntu ukunda abana be cyane batwebwe abasengeneza bisengeneza be. Yaraguhoberaga akavana mu bitugu akageza hasi avuga sogokuru Mikayirewe uraho.
Who's Masenge? Is it aunt or
la sœur de mon père?
Okay. So your aunt. So on the way to see their father, they met the aunt, and he was mentioning that the aunt was very very loving. So she would have them, and she would be like singing from head to toe about their grandfather, I think.
Ngewe nkumva arantindije rero kuko numvaga nshaka kubona data bwa mbere mpita mbwira Masenge ndamwunamisha ndamubwira ndashaka kubona data.
So the aunt was singing, and he's like, you know what, she's actually wasting my time because I want to see my dad. So just move past. I need to see my dad.
Ariko nabonaga noneho Masenge ahita impundu, gutanga impundu cyari ikimenyetso kivuga ngo ndakwishimiye cyane.
So when he saw his aunt, the aunt made him feel like she was happy to see him.
Noneho abari mu nzu bagira amatsiko baza kureba. Habanza umugabo nabonaga ari umugabo uri mu kigero cy'imyaka nka 45 50 hafi aho.
So the neighbors now became curious because there were new people that were entering in the house, so they were curious to know what was happening in the house.
Nibazaga niba ari we data bikanyobera. Noneho Masenge ahita abwira ankura mu rujijo ririmo, ahamagara data ngo Christopher, niko yamwita Christopher, ngo dore Karamage kawe.
So he oh gosh. So he said that he when he saw one of the neighbor, he thought it was his dad because he had never seen his dad. So he thought it was his dad, but then his aunt was like, no, that's not your dad. And then she introduced him to his father for the first time.
Abivuze rero data yahise areka ibyo yabwiraga abantu bari hafi aho, aza yihuta arampobera, nanjye ndamuhobera, aranterura bibanza kumunanira kuko nari mbyibushye, nuko yicara ku ntebe yanshyira mu maguru.
So as soon as he said, the sister told her brother that it was her son, he ran towards him, and then he just tried to lift him up, but because he was no longer a baby, it was hard for him to like lift him up. So he sat down, and then he held him in his arms, and he comforted him like he was happy to see him for the first time.
Najyaga ikintu narifuje cyane nari maze kukibona, najyaga mbona abandi bana ba papa babashyize mu maguru babahungura babahanagura babagira nkumva n'ibintu ntigeze mbona. icyo gihe rero nahise numva icyo nari nishonje nyibonye rwose numvaga ameze nk'uri mu nzozi.
So he thought like he was in heaven, or he was dreaming because the thing that he used to see other kids have, like their fathers having them sit on their lap and caring for them. Now he got a chance to be able to actually experience that moment with his father for the first time.
Kuko naje nihuta cyane kubera cya gitekerezo cyo gushaka kubona data, mama nari namusize kure n'undi mubyara wanjye bari bari kumwe, yaje nyuma ho gato
because
naje.
He had this desire to see his father. He ran past his mom and his siblings, so he was the first to get to the house.
Mama yatungutse mu barembo, nawe data aramumenya, we yahise amumenya, aragenda ngo basuhuzanye.
So as soon as also the mom arrived, she recognized her husband, so she went to greet her husband.
Barahoberana, ariko mama yamuhaga intera adashaka kumwegera, mbona data ashaka kumwegera cyane, habamo icyo kintu cyo gusigana, hanyuma babaha intebe bicaraho hanze.
So he noticed that the father wanted to hug his mom more, but the mom did not want to hug. Then they decided to sit outside and talk.
Bamaze kwicara noneho hatunguka abashyitsi. Mu gitabo nabise abashyitsi badashimishije. Ubundi mu muco w'abanyarwanda umushyitsi wese uje tumwita umugisha, ariko abo ni abashyitsi batabaye umugisha.
Okay, so as soon as they sat down, there were guests that were unwanted guests. So in the Rwandan culture, a guest is always a welcome, like a good thing. But the people that came afterwards were not good guests. So in his book, he mentioned them that as unwanted guests. So
bari abashyitsi batatu, barimo wa mugore w'umukonseye uyobora secteur n'abapolisi babiri, umwe afite imbunda nini ahetse ku rutugu gukireba hejuru, iyo ni icyuma gityaye.
So the leader of the county, like I said, the leader of the county who told his father to stay in the house, he came back with two police officers, one with a big gun, and then the other one, what the other fitiki?
Ntacyo yari afite ndembo, icyo bita ndembigi, matraque, je ne sais pas comment on appelle ça en anglais, mais c'est matraque. Kintu kimeze nk'inkoni.
Matraque.
Yeah,
matraque,
one of the I don't know how you say it in English. I know what you mean, but I don't know how you say it in English. One of the police officer had a gun, and the other one had the thing that you use to beat people. I don't know how.
Is it a stick? Is it a stick?
Like a stick, but it's like
Yeah.
bigger than a stick.
Yeah.
So I would say a stick, yeah. By the way, I have to remind our viewers that this was not in 1994. This was in 1973.
It was not in 1970.
When was that?
It was in 76.
Yes, 1976. So this was not 1994. It was 1976. So for those who are saying that the genocide was not perpetrated, I want to make sure.
Excusez-moi, je n'avais pas mentionné l'année. Voilà, c'est ma faute. Je n'avais pas mentionné la.
Yes, it's important to mention the date, especially for the deniers. 1976. So you were united.
I'm
so
sorry.
from 1961. Yeah. From 1961 to 1976, his father was in exile. He could not get inside of Rwanda from 1961 to 1976.
Icyo bakoze rero ni iki, nuko bahise babwira data ngo haguruka usubireyo, ngo ntabwo tugushaka hano.
So the police office, the two police officer and that person, the county leader, actually came to actually chase him out again from Rwanda because they did not want to say, like, we don't want you here, get out of get out of Rwanda.
Data agerageza kubinginga afashijwe na mushiki we na muramu we, ati mwambabariye nakoze ikihe cyaha ku buryo munyirukana, aha ni ku butaka bwa data, niho data hambye, niho sogokuru yaguye, ni iwacu, kuki munyirukana iwacu?
So
uri inyenzi nitugushaka.
So he begged the officers and the lead of the county. He's like, please, I was born here. My dad was born here. He died here. My mother was died here. Like this is my land. This is where I was born. Like what did I do? Like what is the why are you chasing me out of Rwanda? And then the officer were like, you have to get out because you are a cockroach. So the cockroach name was not created in 1994. It was before then. They used to call us cockroach. Actually, this is an information I did not know because I was 5 in 1995. So in 1973, I wasn't even born. I don't even think my dad was. So I think he was. Sorry, but I don't know. But I wasn't. So I didn't even know that they were still calling cockroach people in that time. So meaning the word cockroaches was in 1959 when they started killing. That's when they started actually calling us cockroaches. Anyway, that's interesting. That's really interesting to know. So it's good to know history. So he begged the officers, and he's like so his father, his aunt, and the husband of the aunt, they were begging to keep him, and they refused.
Icyakoze rero umupolisi yahise afata imbunda ayikura ku rutugu ahita amanura ikintu arakigiragira gutya nanone aravuga ngo nimutindiganya ndamurasira ahangaha inyenzi twazitsinze mu Bugesera tuzitsinda muri Shiri na hano ndayihatsinda.
So the officer who had a gun, he decided to arm his gun, and he's like, if you refuse to get out of Rwanda, I am going to kill him right here in front of you because we killed Inyenzi. So now he started pridefully saying what they did, how they killed Tutsis in places. Mu
Bugesera, muri Shiri.
So they killed them in Bugesera, muri Shiri, na hehe?
Yeah, no mu Ruhengeri.
No mu Ruhengeri. So he's like, we killed them in Kigali, in Bugesera, in all these places. So he was like proudly telling them how they killed Tutsi people.
Masenge abonye agira ubwoba ahita yihuta azana agavariza yari yazanye gakoze mu mbaho gafungishijwe agapata ari akagufuri arakamuzanira na kamarete yari afite arakaza nagashyiraho ngaho agashyizeho umupolisi ufite imbunda.
The aunt was so shocked and afraid, so she ran into the house and brought his suitcase and everything that he came with so that he could go and so that they don't kill him in that house.
Umupolisi aravuga ngo utaba ufitemo amasasu n'imbunda ngo fungura. Papa ashaka urufunguzo kubera ko yari afite ubwo ararubura akajya asohora imifuka igasigara imeze gutya n'ipantaro.
So the police officer is like, we're not gonna let you because you might have a gun in that suitcase. And the suitcase had a lock. So because the father was shocked in a shocking state, so he forgot where the lock was. So he started like looking around for his the keys to unlock the suitcase, and he couldn't. So he's mentioning how like all his pockets were all out and there was nothing in it.
Umupolisi yafashe ya mbunda na cya cyuma gishyiramo aragaca yeguza imbunda igipfundikizo gupfundikira gutya cyari gipfundikiye akajya ashyiramo imyenda ajugunya arayisandagiza mu rugo hose.
So he opened the suitcase. They finally got to open the suitcase. So he started like looking in the suitcase and all that, looking for a gun that was not there. And then he didn't find anything. So he threw all his father's thing in the outside, like on the floor around the house.
atoranyamo imyenda ayo mupolisi utari ufite imbunda ngo mfashiriya ndayitwara babasubiranye agasanduku amutwara imyenda.
So the police who was looking for a gun actually ended up taking the clothes of his father and not the gun. So he actually ended up stealing from the father.
Yeah. ahita badushora turakurikira tujya ku Kanyaru ku Cyambu arambuka asubira i Burundi. Ikintu nibuka cyambabaje cyane yaravuze ngo nimusubire inyuma ngo cyangwa mumukurikire yewe ndahasigara nifuza ko amunkurikiza ngo tujyane.
So of course now you have to imagine this was the first time Mr. Alexandre get to meet his father. He didn't even have like an hour or 2 hours to be with his father. The father had to run and walk again through go back to Burundi and walk through Burundi. So he tried to run and follow his father, and because he had not lived with his father, so he wanted to be with his father, and they refused, of course, because they could not let him go with the father.
Aline, vous avez raison. C'est la raison qui m'a poussé à intituler le chapitre Apercevoir mon père. Hein?
So,
nta minota irenze 15 twamaranye.
So he's saying that I'm sorry, it's not funny, but I have to laugh because if I don't laugh, I will be crying. So I choose to laugh. I choose to laugh. Because if they did not kill us, we have to laugh about it. Seriously. Because their goal was to destroy us and not finish. So he's saying the reason why he actually titled the title Perceiving My Father, because they didn't even spend 15 minutes together. Like he just met him and then he had to go. So it wasn't like really knowing him or getting a chance to get to know him, because he didn't have that right. He had to be taken away.
Ntabwo bamushinja icyaha yakoze ngo bamufate bamufungire mu gihugu, ahubwo bahisemo kumwirukana.
They didn't even give him they didn't give him any try. They didn't try him for anything. They just didn't even say they would put him in jail in Rwanda. No, they just wanted him out of Rwanda.
Umupolisi rero yabonye gisigaye aravuga ngo kuki akangaka kadashaka kugenda, afata igiti yari afite ashaka kunkubita yandembo, noneho muzengurukaho ndiruka nkandagira mu mazi mutera ikiziba, byatumye niruka kurusha Usain Bolt ngo kuko navuga ko ari bwaka imbunda kandasa.
So when he was trying to go with his father, the one with the gun, the policeman with the gun was like, why is this child not letting this man leave? So he tried to shoot him. So he decided to go under his feet, and then he jumped in a puddle of water, and then he splashed the water on him, and then he decided he ran. He said he ran as fast as Usain Bolt because the guy couldn't shoot him. So he was faster than Usain Bolt.
nuko twatandukanye, ariko baza gufata icyemezo cy'uko anyura ku kanyaru kuko ni karekare, akaza gushaka ikindi cyambu yambukiramo kitari cyo ngicyo, ariko akaza. Niko byagenze rero, aza kuza mu rugo, ariko hageze naho baza kumufata bamufungira ni Kigali. Je dis ça pour être bref, ubundi ni birebire. Bamufungiye i Kigali muri service centrale de renseignement, yari ishinzwe ubutasi. Twamubonye nta nzara z'amaguru afite, nta z'ibirenge, batubwira ko bamushyiraga muri sheze izenguruka ngo navuge asobanura iby'ibitero. Kuva hageze n'ubundi nta kintu yakoraga, kuko nta yaje rero gukizwa nuko dutanze ruswa y'inka ebyiri, bemeza ko mu burugumesitiri wari uriho yemeza ko ngo yari yagiye guhaha, ariko bari baramukubise baramuzonze.
Okay, so oh my gosh, so when the father crossed back to Burundi, they decided to actually find another way for him to be able to come back to be with his family. So because the river, there's a river that separates where he was to Rwanda. So they decided to find another side of the river where he can actually cross and then come to the house. So eventually, so in the book you will have the details of what happened, because many things happened, and then he found his way back to the family in the house. But he was arrested. So when he got to the house now to be with his family, they arrested him and they sent him to Kigali. And in Kigali, they put him in a prison. And in that place, they were torturing him every day. So when they went to visit him, he didn't have any toenails. He didn't have, he looked really tortured, because they would torture him. They would put him in a chair. You will read the details. I don't want to talk about it. I'm sorry. I'm just shaking even as I'm thinking about it. He was just tortured. He was tortured, and they finally got to. I'm sorry. It's
okay.
they got to they got to release him by bailing on him with two goats, and they got to release him from the prison.
Yeah. Reka nihute rero kugira ngo ngere mu 1989 nakoraga akazi kuri gereza ya Kigali izwi cyane yitwa 1930 niryo zina ryayo, niho nakoraga. Haza rero kuza urupapuro ruzengurutswa buri wese yandikaho amazina aye, ay'ababyeyi, aho yavukiye, ubwoko, amashuri yize, ubwoko bwe. Ngira ngo wasobanura.
So he became he started working at the prison at a very famous prison in Rwanda, and so then they asked him to write down the name of his parents, where he's from, and everything like that, all the details. So that's what he did. So he had to fill out that form.
Nakoraga akazi ko gutwara ikamyo. Natwaraga ikamyo nini kuri gereza.
So he was a truck driver in the prison, in the jail prison.
Urwo rupapuro rwavaga kuri umwe rujya ku wundi, twararuhererekanyaga, urumwe avuga rumwe rujya ku wundi. Ruza kugera rero ku mukobwa wakoraga muri atelier idoda, kuko habaga aho badodera uniforme z'abanyururu, abafungwa.
So he was basically so his work was to take some of the uniform, like the prisoner's uniform, to take it to the person who does make it, who makes the uniforms. So he will collect them and then take them to the person who saw it, and then he back and forth. So that was his job.
Now he's
mentioning like so
1989.
That was what?
1989.
Okay, so he started working in the jail department, the jail place.
Sorry, natangiyeho muri 86, ahubwo urupapuro rwazengurukijwe muri 89.
Can you say it in French, because I have no idea.
Donc il y avait une liste de tous les employés. Alors on disait de remplir leurs identités. On circulait avec ce liste pour mettre, chacun devait mettre son nom, son identité, son ethnie, tout ça.
Okay, so in 19, so mwatangiye gukora muri prison yari.
Natangiye gukorayo 1986. Ubwo ni 3 ans après.
86. Okay, so
1986.
Okay, so in 1986 he started working at a jail, at a prison place as a truck driver. Then in 1989 there was a form that had to be filled by every employee in the prison, and where they had to put down their name, their first, last name, the name of their parents, and the ethnicity, if they are Tutsis or Hutu. That was the first time that it was done, because they were never asked that from 1986. So 3 years after he started working at the prison cell, he was requested to fill that form.
Exactly.
Yeah. Umukobwa umwe abonye ko nujujeho ko ndi umututsi, icyo yakoze nuko yaje muri kantine arandeba atya, aranyitegereza, arambwira ngo najyaga nkwibeshyaho ariko sinzongera kukwibeshyaho, burya nawe uri inyenzi. Najyaga mbona ukora neza nkagira ngo uri umuntu muzima, ariko ni bwa buryarya bwayo. Gukora neza byitwa uburyarya, kuba nujujeho gutyo nitwa inyenzi.
So after he filled the form and said that he was Tutsi, the woman who was sewing the uniforms, the uniform, they were working together. So one day she came to him and she was looking at him and she's like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so shocked that I thought that you were a very intelligent person, but you are a cockroach. So like you just a cockroach." So she realized that he was not Hutu, but he was Tutsi. So she was shocked, and that was 1989. Okay, 1989.
89, yeah, yeah.
For those who are listening, because
Right,
I have many
right.
deniers that follow me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
1989, that was before 1994. So 1989 was the time where they filled the form, and then that person came to him and said that, yeah, the inyenzi, the cockroach. So the cockroach, the word cockroach was not created in 1994. It was before that.
narasetse rero ariko numva mbabaye mubwira nti ariko wowe gukora neza byitwa gute uburyarya, ntangira gutekereza mbona no mu bujujeho ko ari abahutu barimo bakora neza, mbona ingero kuko nza kuvuga nti buriya ni urwango rumurimo, ariko ntabwo ari ukuri mu by'ukuri. Nyuma rero habayeho 90 murabizi, intambara yo kuboza igihugu iratangira, inkotanyi ziratera, ziteye habaye ikibazo gikomeye kuko habayeho rafure. D'abord muri gereza twabanje kwimura abagororwa kuko basatiraga intangangu kugira ngo harimo ibintu bibiri. Kwari kugira ngo babone aho bazafungira abantu bitwaga ibyitso. Icya kabiri kwari kugizayo abanyururu hafi y'imirwano kuko
It's too long.
Okay.
I'll forget.
Sorry,
I'm
sorry.
so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, misters, I need you because there are words that I don't get. So I'm going to translate. If I forget something, please add.
Yeah.
So he said,
in 1990.
Okay, so 90.
Les inkotanyi ont attaqué le Rwanda.
So the Inyotanyi, I will call them the RPF, right?
RPF, voilà.
Pour les anciens réfugiés qui étaient en Ouganda, au Burundi aussi, ils ont attaqué pour revendiquer leurs droits.
Okay. So in 90, so that form was filled out in 1989 at his workplace. In 1990, so the first genocide of 1959, many people went into exile. So in exile, the Tutsi people created a force to come and actually rescue the Tutsis oppression that was happening in Rwanda. And actually, my dad was part of a political party called the Liberal Party, who was based in Rwanda, but they had people outside of Rwanda that were also called Ingotanyi. So Ingotanyi was like the army that actually stopped the genocide. The genocide was not stopped by any white army. The genocide was stopped by the Tutsi army that is now called the Rwandan Patriotic Front. But at that time, they called them Ingotanyi. So the Ingotanyi, the army, the Ingotanyi, the Rwandan Patriotic Front at that time, they came to try to rescue the Tutsis that were persecuted at that time in 1990. So there was a raffle. Am I saying that right? There was because he was in Kigali. So when it happened, they decided to move, to relocate the prisoners from one place where they were to make space for the people that they were going to either arrest or bring them back, to bring them in, right? So meaning that government was making space to arrest Tutsis and make more space, to create a space. So they were creating an environment to bring Tutsis in the jail cell.
Oui, je peux ajouter quelque chose parce qu'on considérait tous les Tutsis comme des complices de ce
qui...
de l'armée patriotique.
So that government that was there in 1990, they considered every Tutsi to be a traitor against the nation, and they were also considered as spies, because that's what I heard, that they told that my dad was a spy because he was Tutsi and he was in a political political, but so they were considered as spies and also as I would say complice which complice niki.
Complice, c'est-à-dire que ils
Cyongereza,
étaient d'accord avec les envahissants, hein, ceux qui...
I need to Google it because I don't know what that is.
C'est mieux, c'est mieux.
Aha, niko byagenze rero nyuma y'igihe gito.
So they were like partners. So every Tutsi in Rwanda was considered like partners in crime of the Inkotanyi. So they were considered as, if you are Tutsi and you were living in Rwanda, you were automatically considered as Inkotanyi, like member of Inkotanyi. To the government at that time.
Ku itariki rero enye z'ukwa 10 kuko muzi ko Inkotanyi zateye ku itariki ya 2 z'ukwa 10 mu 1990 ku itariki enye z'ukwa 10 Kigali barashe amasasu menshi kugira ngo berekane ko Inkotanyi zageze i Kigali. Bukeye bwakeye bafata umututsi wese nta kindi bamubajije bamujyana stade regional, stade ya Nyamirambo.
Okay, so I'm back with now.
Ku itariki enye z'ukwa 10
October
1990.
Is it October 4th? So
yes,
Inkotanyi, so the army got in October 1st.
Yeah, correct.
So Inkotanyi got inside Rwanda October 1st. Then on October 4th, they
l'armée rwandaise ont fait semblant que les Inkotanyi ont arrivé à Kigali.
Ah.
Oh, okay. I didn't get it. Okay, so on October 1st, 1990, Inkotanyi, the Tutsi army that was coming to rescue the Tutsis, entered into Rwanda. But on October 4th, the Rwandan army decided to actually lie or I would say manipulate or
the population,
manipulate, yes. And act like Inkotanyi to find a reason to arrest Tutsis. So they orchestrated an event by bombing an area in Kigali, and then after that event, they arrested every Tutsi in Kigali. They arrested every Tutsi that was in Kigali was arrested. So remember, they were making room. So before that event, they made room for those people. So after that, they brought all the Tutsis in jail.
Ibyo byarakozwe hafatwa abantu benshi cyane buzura stade babura icyo barya nta mazi ntaki basigaye barya pasiparumu zo mu kibuga. Baza rero kunsaba.
What is pasiparu?
Les herbes. Ils mangeaient les herbes parce qu'ils n'avaient rien à manger au stade.
Jesus. Okay, so they arrested. So because there were so many Tutsis, right? So they arrested them and they put them in a stadium. And there was not enough food. They didn't have enough food. They were eating grass.
Even water.
And there was no water. There was no food. So they were eating grass.
Nyuma rero baje kumbwira ko njya kubatwara njyayo kubapakira. Nari navuye Gitarama kujyana abantu muri abanyururu kubashyira Gitarama. So
because he was the truck driver, so because Mr. Alexandre was the truck driver of the prison, he was requested to go to the stadium and pick those people, those prisoners, and take them from one place to another.
Ntabwo ndi buvuge ingwara ndazo zabereye ariko bizagaragara mu gitabo kugira ngo nihute.
So he's not going to get into details of what happened because the book is going to be there. Please don't, because I'm already traumatized. I'm already traumatized. I won't be able to.
Hari ibindi rero bihari ibyo hari chapitre muzasangamo impunzi zo ku Muhororo. Nagiyeyo ntwaye ibiryo bya Caritas nzababwira mu gitabo uko nagiyeyo uko byangendekeye.
So in the book he's talking about an incident that is also traumatic of taking food to some people, some refugees that were that were starving, and that will be in the book. So I'm asking him not to give the details because I'm already traumatized. I don't know if you can see my face. I honestly I am not okay right now. So I don't want to translate anymore.
igihe cyarageze rero nari mfite umugore n'umwana umwe, umugore nkunda cyane, umugore w'inzozi zanjye, n'umwana umwe twari dufitanye. Hanyuma
So at that time he was married to the love of his life, a woman that he loved with all his heart, and they had a child together. So he was married with one child in 1991.
mu gitabo muzasangamo uko twatandukanye, nanjye ndumva bimaze kungora, iyo mpageze birangora. Uko umwana wanjye yampepeye agiye yambwira ati papa ako kantu kahora kaza ntikaramba mu mutwe n'ubu ngubu, kuko nibwo bwa nyuma nari mubonye. Namuhaye mama we tugiye kurwana n'abantu bari baduteye, noneho umwana rero agenda ndeba avuga ati papa ako kantu ntabwo gashobora kumva mu mutwe n'ubu ndacyagafite.
Jesus. Okay, so he was married to the love of his life. They had a child, and then you will hear the full story in the book because it's a traumatic story for him to even talk about it, because especially about his last memory of his child. When they were taken out, the child was taken away from him, and the child was screaming, "Papa." It's something that still is in his mind that he cannot forget about that incident. So for that details, you will hear, because he cannot share it, I cannot translate it. So I'm sorry, but we're not gonna talk about it because right now we are not okay. So
mu gitabo muzasangamo ibiruhura, kuko ntabwo nari nzi ko ibyo bishobora kubamo, ibyo byakubayeho, ariko muzasangamo n'ibiruhura. Harimo imivugo nko nagiriye mama, kuko mama yarapfuye, ariko mbere y'uko apfa yitaba Imana naramushimiye kuko yakoze ikintu gitangaje cyane. No mu gitabo muzasangamo ubwitange bw'umubyeyi, kuba indahemuka, ainsi de suite.
Mais moi je voulais ajouter, j'aimerais ajouter que cette histoire, parce que
before you continue, let me translate so I don't forget. So he said that the book has a lot of insight. It has a lot of not only the story of what happened to him, but he also wrote some message to his mom. The thing that he wanted to tell his mom before she passed, and all the things. So yeah, Mr. or Mrs.
Non, je voulais ajouter parce que attends un moment. Parce que au sujet de sa femme et son petit enfant, donc on les a tués, c'est ça. Parce que les auditeurs peut-être ne savent comment ce qui s'est passé, mais voilà, c'est très choquant, c'est très poignant, mais on les a tués. Voilà.
So he wanted to mention, Mr. or Mrs. wanted to mention the fact that they were not taken away, like separated, like, when his dad went to Burundi and then he stayed. No. They were killed. They were killed in a very unthinkable and thoughtful way. So that will be mentioned in the book, because none of us, I cannot translate because I'm not okay, and I don't think Mr. Alexandre will talk about it right now. So we are not ready to share that part. So we don't want to talk about it. So yeah.
Okay. Reka ndangize mbashimira cyane, mbabwira ko bazabona uko jye narokotse mu buryo bw'igitangaza, ariko n'ukuntu nshimira Imana ukuntu yagiye inkorera ibitangaza aho narindi mu buryo mu gitabo, kugira ngo n'undi wese waba afite akaga azumve ko Imana ihari ngo itabare. Muri chapitre yitwa humura.
He wants to thank God for saving his life, because yes, he lost his wife and his son, but and his family, his parents, his mom.
It was a daughter. It was a daughter.
He was a daughter, yeah, his daughter. And his siblings and everybody, but he said that he's thanking God for the way he actually survived the genocide, because there is a chapter saying humura, which is don't worry. The translation is "Don't worry," and he's sharing about how God really saved him and protected him during that season. And he's writing that to actually see that there was something actually that he's grateful for. He's grateful to have survived. Yeah.
Murakoze cyane. Imana ibahe umugisha.
Now, I don't know. I can't continue. I'm sorry, because
Komera.
not okay. I can't
Komera.
D'accord. Si je peux ajouter quelque chose, parce que moi j'ai lu le manuscrit. Moi, j'ai lu le manuscrit, c'est très très choquant. Je pense, même c'est difficile de laisser Aline traduire. Si Alexandre avait continué à dire son histoire, ça serait très difficile pour Aline de traduire vraiment son histoire parce que elle est très très poignante. Et je pense alors que c'est mieux de me laisser ce livre sortir et puis que chacun lit cette histoire qui est très très poignante. Même pour moi, c'est très très dur. Il y a beaucoup de détails que Alexandre n'a pas dit, mais vraiment, c'est difficile de dire vraiment son histoire pour moi. Et puis, c'était miraculé. Je dirais qu'Alexandre était miraculé. Il avait toute sa famille a été tuée. Il avait ses frères. Ils étaient 5. Et, tous ont été tués. Donc, pour moi, c'était un miracle. Alexandre est resté pour raconter cette histoire, pour dire la vérité. Pour dire la vérité, c'est la vérité vraiment qui va nous rendre libres. Sinon, il faut parler de nos histoires. L'histoire d'Alexandre est très, très, très poignante. J'espère qu'un jour, on va voir ce livre sortir et être lu par le monde entier. Voilà, merci beaucoup.
Merci infiniment à Hôtel Aline. Je vous remercie infiniment de m'avoir accordé. Merci, merci. Je comprends, je vous comprends. De m'avoir accordé cette opportunité d'exprimer ma peine et ma douleur pour justement le monde entier, comme venait de le dire mon ami Ormisidas. Je vous remercie infiniment. Merci, merci.
So I'm gonna just summarize a little bit of what Mr. Omista said and what Alexander said. So he said that Mr. Omistas read the whole book, so he knows how he survived it, and he's like, it's not easy. He doesn't even think that I'll be able to translate it. It's like something that you can't, like, I can't translate it. I'm sorry, I can't. But the book will be out. The book will be out in Kinyarwanda and in English, and we are planning to also have it translated in French. So by God's grace, the 3 languages will be out at the same time. Mr. Omista said that the story is very. The story it's unspeakable. You just have to read it. Like, and Mr. Omista was talking about the importance to share your story. Like, even though it's painful, you have to talk about it because it's your story. Like, it's important to talk about it. It's important to share. It's important to write because, for example, I'm just gonna give my own experience. I didn't even know that, the intensity and the consequences of the genocide of 1959 because I've never had a person that I know that actually was a consequence of the 1959 genocide. My grandfather, so my dad's uncle and aunties also went into exile in 1959, but I didn't know, like, I didn't have anybody that I know that actually could who shared a story of the consequences of the 1959 genocide. So you can understand from 1959, it was only in 1976 that his dad got, from 1961, my bad, from 1961 to 1976, that was the time that his father was allowed, not even allowed, he 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 hid himself to get inside his own country, the place where he was born, the place where he was raised, the place where he got married and had children. He had to hide to come back to his home. It's not, it's just, that's why it's important to share because I was 5 during the genocide in 1994. I didn't even know that I was Tutsi. I didn't even know. The first time I found out that I was something, I found that I was a cockroach. That was my name. That's the first time I realized who I was. I didn't even know I was Tutsi. I knew Narinzi Kodi Yenzi. I didn't now Narinzi Hutu Jamu Tutsi. No kidding. I didn't. I didn't know I was Tutsi or Hutu because nobody called me Tutsi. They called me cockroach. So I thought my name was like our ethnic were cockroaches. So it's crazy that it's the truth. So that is why it's
Yeah.
important for you
Yeah.
for the generation, your generation, to talk so that we can know. Because I was 5. There were people that were 1. There were people that were 2. There were people that were born after the genocide who have not even any idea of what the genocide. So we have
Yeah.
to. It's important to share. Please share your story. If you are a genocide survivor
Yeah.
and you want to share your story, please email us, email us, email us,
Yeah.
email us, email us at seekinggracefoundation.com. Email us, and I promise that we need to share our stories. Like,
Thank you.
let's
Thank
not
you very
just
much.
wait. Let's not
Thank
wait
you.
on in the 100 days to talk about our stories. Let me put
Thank
it this
you.
way: as genocide survivors, it's not just during the 100 days that we suffer. Like, I miss my dad every day. I do, and I'm sure
Um,
Mr. Alexandre misses his family or missed us.
yeah.
So we do miss
Yeah.
our loved ones. So
Yeah. Merci
share your
beaucoup.
story.
Merci.
So
Tout
Merci
Mr.
à vous.
simplement,
Merci.
je peux ajouter une seconde, s'il vous plaît?
Oh
Quelque
no,
chose, hein? Oui.
à vous, Monsieur Alexandre. Yeah.
Merci beaucoup, merci beaucoup. Dans mon livre, je n'ai pas été trop partiel. J'ai essayé de montrer la peine qu'ont eu les gens qui ont commis le génocide n'ont rien gagné, d'après moi. J'ai essayé de montrer la peine et aussi ils ont été peinés après le génocide. Donc ils n'ont rien gagné. J'ai montré ça, pourquoi? Parce que il y a un slogan Never again, plus jamais, pour que les gens puissent ou sachent que faire le mal n'amène pas aucun intérêt. Voilà.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup. So we are going to end this conversation. Mr. or Miss Das, do you have any
Merci beaucoup.
parting word before we go? And also, pouvez-vous donner votre mot de conclusion? Et si
Oui.
possible, après que je traduis ce que vous direz, si vous pouvez prier pour clôturer cette
D'accord,
émission.
d'accord, d'accord, d'accord. Vraiment, l'histoire d'Alexandre, comme je l'ai dit, est très, très poignante parce que moi, j'ai lu tout le manuscrit, il m'a montré pour lire, puis essayer de lui donner des conseils. Mais pour moi, comme il le dit, ceux qui ont fait du mal n'ont rien gagné. Ils n'ont rien gagné. C'est vraiment, nous pouvons donner même des conseils parce que celui qui tue l'autre ne gagne rien, ne gagne rien. Et ceux qui continuent même à mentir que notre histoire n'est pas vraie, ces gens peuvent changer parce que c'est la vérité vraiment qui va nous libérer de tous ces problèmes. Ce n'est pas le mensonge qui va nous aider à vivre. Ce n'est pas ça. C'est pas pour nous. Nous avons besoin de donner des valeurs à nos enfants. Ce n'est pas question de continuer à mentir, alors que c'est la vérité là, c'est la réalité. Hein. Vous avez entendu l'histoire d'Alexandre, c'est la réalité. Depuis qu'il était au sein de sa mère, il souffrait parce que son papa était déjà chassé. Il n'était plus au Rwanda, on l'avait chassé parce qu'on disait il est Inyenzi, il n'est pas comme les autres. Alors, ce que mon message, c'est vraiment d'essayer de dire la vérité, d'accepter cette vérité. Depuis 1959, il y a eu un génocide en 1994. Alors, c'est la vérité. on ne peut rien faire. Et puis, ceux qui ont fait du mal aux autres, ils n'ont rien gagné. Alors, c'est le moment vraiment de faire la réconciliation et puis essayer de donner un bon héritage à nos enfants.
Merci.
I'm sorry, I had muted myself. So Mr. Omisdas was saying that because he read the whole manuscript, he read the whole book. So he said that the story is very, very, very touching and very painful, but at the same time, it shows that not the killers, none of the people actually gained of the genocide. We lost our loved one, and they actually didn't gain anything by killing us. They didn't gain anything. So he's saying that this is a season now for us, whether you perpetrated the genocide or you are a victim of the genocide, it is time for us to speak about the truth, to share the truth, to see the truth, whether you killed, face the consequences of your action and be honest and talk about the truth, because denying the fact that it happened, it's not even healing you. It's not going to give you the peace that you need. It's not going to give you the joy that you need. So being able to share the truth is the what actually sets us free. And even perpetuating the lie to your children or to your grandchildren is actually leaving a legacy of lies and a legacy of faith, because you cannot, to sustain a lie, it's impossible to sustain a lie forever, because the truth stinks. You cannot hide the truth forever. Whether it's like, I always give the analogy of, even if you kill somebody and you put the body in the sea, even if it takes years, the sea will always throw that body away, because the sea it clean itself. It's a self cleaner. It clean itself. So that's how the truth is. You cannot run away from the truth. You can try to falsify it. You can try to make videos on YouTube or Twitter or whatever and lie about the genocide, or try to say, oh, the genocide happened because of this person, or because of that person, because of that person. Let me tell you the truth. I was not in politics. My dad may have been in politics. I was 5 years old. My cousins, my nieces, all the people that were killed at 1, 2, 3, babies and born babies, were they RPF or Ingotani? Did they fight? Did they have a gun? If we have to talk about the double genocide, do these babies that were unborn babies, did they have a gun to fight for themselves? The women that were raped, did they have anything to fight for their lives? So we have to really try to stop lying to ourselves, because that lie that you try to manipulate it and try to make yourself feel good. Oh, we also lost people. We also, you know what? You may have your grandchildren. Some of you have the grandchildren. You watch your grandchildren grow up. Maybe you lost one person shot, who was shot, because I did not hear any, even the casualties that were done by Ingotani, because I've done research. I'm a scientist. There is no casualties that was cut to pieces with machetes. So you can't tell me that the Ingotani also cut people like you did. But we have proof that you cut us. I don't even have to go far. I watched my father being cut to pieces. So I want to tell you, because I know many are watching me. I have many deniers that keep on texting me and sending me messages. You can try to make me to try to hide. But let me tell you this, I'm not afraid of you. That's number one. Number two, you cannot hide the truth forever. Let me tell you this. The weapon that I have, I don't have a gun, I don't have a machete, I don't have anything. I have my story. My story is my weapon, and you cannot silence us. This is why I'm telling genocide survivors, I beg you in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, start talking. Don't die silent.
Yeah.
Your
We
loved
will do
one,
it. We will do it.
your loved one lost it, so that you can have that opportunity to carry that lamp and give the lamp. Because if you do not share your story, your children will be lied upon. And I don't want my children to be confused about what happened in Rwanda. I want my children to know that their grandfather was cut to pieces in front of their mother. I want my children to know that their grandmother was murdered. I want my children to know the truth. And I believe that your children deserve the truth. So that's the parting shots. And Mr. or Mrs. please pray so that we can go because I am not okay. I have a bad headache. Pray for
Before
my
we pray, please, before we pray, mu gitabo cyanjye muzasanga ko ntabogamye navuze ukuri impande zose, nabivuze ko nta nyungu bakuyemo, ariko nanerekanyemo n'ababaye intwari bakagira abo bahisha, nk'umugabo umwe witwa Damascene wahishe umwana w'umunyandamutsa, uwo mwana waje kuba intwari cyane. Aho rero twerekana ukuri twebwe, nk'uko umwanditsi yari nabivuze, ukuri niko kuzatsinda ikinyoma. Ntabwo tuvuga ngo bose bakoze nabi, abakoze neza turabavuga tudafite ubwoba.
So he's mentioning that in his book. He's not just mentioning that the Hutu people, all the Hutu people were bad. No. Not all Hutu people were bad. There were good people that hid people. There were good people that took. So he's mentioning one example of a person called Damascene, and that person actually hid a child who became who grew up to be an amazing person. And he's mentioning that person to mention the fact that there were good people out of the evil. There were also good people. However, there were also evil people. So we cannot just brush and say and choose and pick and choose. It's not a buffet. You take everything as it is, because history, you cannot polish history. History is history. So that's why he's saying it's important to share our story. It's important to talk about our story.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Mr. or Mrs., can you pray us out?
Yeah. Dieu notre Père, notre Créateur, toi qui es vérité, Jésus-Christ notre Seigneur, toi qui as dit que tu es le chemin, la vie et la vérité, donne-nous la force de dire la vérité et de chasser le mensonge dans notre pays. Nous avons entendu, nous avons écouté l'histoire d'Alexandre qui a souffert depuis son enfance. Nous ne voulons pas que nos enfants souffrent de ces conflits qui se sont arrêtés, mais à cause des mensonges qui peuvent même retourner, mais nous n'espérons pas que, nous ne voulons pas que ces conflits retournent. Aide-nous aide tous les Rwandais à dire la vérité, à écouter la vérité pour arrêter la haine qui a commencé en 1959 jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Aide-nous à arrêter cette haine afin que notre pays vive en paix. Merci Seigneur, merci pour tous ceux qui souffrent, pour même les prisonniers, ceux qui se trouvent en prison maintenant, afin qu'ils se convertissent, qu'ils changent, qu'ils acceptent cette vérité, afin qu'un jour nous nous trouvions ensemble dans la vie éternelle. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you everybody for watching us. Please share. Please share this, because the only way we can silence the lies is by spreading the truth. And the only way we can spread the truth, we are blessed to use technology. Technology is a blessing. It's not just a curse. It depends on how it is used. So please share it with your family, with everybody. Let the story of Mr. Alexandre give you hope to know that there is hope, that you can go through all these tragic things and still forgive, because we didn't get to that place, but he did forgive. And forgiveness is the only way also of freedom, because hating the people that did wrong to you actually everything. So forgiveness is key. So if you would like to share your story, please email us. We would love to hear from you. And thank you so much, Mr. Alexandre. And we will make sure that the book is out quickly so that you can have access to everything. But yeah, his book is amazing. I'm telling you, it is a lot of pain, but it is gonna bring a lot of hope for you. So God bless you and have an amazing Thursday. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye.